What is up, everybody? So I did an intro. And I'm now second guessing the music. I don't like it. I gotta redo it. Let me get my anti-glares on, because my eyes are starting to hurt when I'm looking at the screen way too much. My eyes are hurting. I'm on the screen all day and all night. Anyways, welcome to the show. It's the best night of the week. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. We are live on the Hickson Diaries. We are chatting. We're talking about facts of the US, of the UK. We're asking questions and genuinely just, having a free-for-all kind of vibe-ish, sort of. Yeah. Can you all hear me? Can you see me? Are we good? Because I feel like you can't. Don't tell me I did all the intro and everything and it's not working. It says I'm live, but how come you can't see me? My playbacks aren't working, so... Oh, this is crap. This is crap. What's happening? I don't know what's happening. Hello? It's not working. Now, is it? Okay, my playback's working. So it's crooked, but it's working. I have no idea what has happened. I don't know why there was such a delay. I had an intro and everything, and you guys missed it because something was effing up with the internet. It's probably the American side of YouTube and Google catching up with me because of some events and some comments I made over the weekend, probably. Anyway, we're going to start over. I'm going to play the intro for you guys. We're going to start over. I did an intro, and then I'll do my welcome, and we'll get into the show. Okay? Reset. So that was my intro, but again, that's the second time that I've heard it now live, and I definitely don't like the music and have to change it. But anyway, I did an intro, so you can tell that I've been working on stuff, even though I took a break last week. Welcome. It is the best night of the week, Tuesday night. It's The Next Show Will Be Better. I'm your host, Mandy, and this is the Hickson Diaries. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and joining us today. We have some things to talk about, but we don't have to do doom and gloom. I'm trying to keep it light and fun where I can. I put out a post with a funny picture of me, and we're going to see what you guys came up with as far as captions. Also, there was a community post asking about if you guys had any questions about like my life in America or anything like that. We're going to do some reacts. I'm going to learn about some British stuff. And of course, your questions, comments, queries, and concerns, and whatever else y'all want to talk about. So thank you all for being here. I love you all. I hope everybody's doing well. We are back from a break because I needed a break. I had a few days off of work and we had some things going on with the family that I am really, really glad I wasn't at work for. Nothing terrible or anything like that. Everybody's okay, but there's going to be a video coming out for members about some of that stuff. So I'm going to save it for that, but you can really see my bra in the shot. That's real pro, right? Yeah, so we're going to talk about all that stuff and of course, whatever else you guys feel like talking about. First, I do have a little bit of house cleaning that I had to do for you guys, just to let you know what's going on. As you can see, we are doing the live stream a little bit differently. We're going to revamp it just slightly, just tweak it a little bit. I'm going to try to do an intro just because I feel like it looks like I'm lost most of the time when I start. And it looks as though I'm like, oh, am I live? Am I not live? Am I like, pretty much what it was like before you guys could actually see and hear me. So that'll be interesting. I wonder if we got at least the audio recording or something of that. If it is, I'll put it out there as an outro, as a bloopers thing for you guys. But the good news is the channel is growing like crazy. And I had a video go viral a couple weeks ago. Well, viral for us, it hit over 100,000 views in like a week. And it's still going strong. We're getting a ton of positive feedback from it and stuff. And actually, for the past couple months, our growth has been really, 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 actually, since the beginning of the year, our growth has been just completely been blown out of the water. And it's fantastic. It's a great problem to have. And I'm really, really excited about it. But unfortunately, there's always downsides to exposure, particularly more scrutiny. And my channel, because there's been so much more content and so much more activity, I think I might have been a little bit of a target. I've definitely sent up some flags on the YouTube algorithm, and I've been getting a lot of copyright claims over the past few months to some reacts and things like that I'm doing. So while we're still going to keep the format of the lives, we're still going to do them every Tuesday, and we're still going to do, the fact checking, and we're going to talk about stuff, British stuff I don't know about, British culture and stuff, and answer all your questions. And of course, we will still do reacts, but we're going to keep that all in the live format. But the full replay that normally I allow, to just kind of post on the channel, I am not going to do that any longer. I'm going to hold it back and keep it private, and then possibly keep it for members only, depending on how the things shake out a little bit. But I will definitely, after a week or so, clip some segments out that I know are going to be okay and release them as independent videos for bonus content and stuff later. When after I've done some more research on some of the topics behind the scenes and how they're going to be viewed from the YouTube gods, and just to make sure they're all copacetic and everything's satisfied on that end, this way just the channel doesn't get affected, right? And the content that I want to make sure you guys see gets out there. And I can make sure that also I'm not reacting to things that might get other people. I'm not trying to ever capitalize on someone else's content in any way. But I can see how that me not asking permission ahead of time or not necessarily knowing that I should could cause some animosity and could ruffle some feathers. So I'm trying to be very respectful as a fellow content creator to, keep that kind of stuff in mind. So I'm just going to be much more aware and deliberate of the things that I'm reacting to and stuff that we're talking about, just to make sure that I'm not taking away from anybody else's art, because I I personally don't really care if someone reacts to my stuff without my permission, but it is a touchy subject for some creators, and I don't want to put any bad vibes about it out there. So there's anything that is already live and is out in there in public, I'm going to leave because all that stuff's been sorted behind the scenes. So starting today and moving forward from here, the replays are going to be, the full chat replays are not going to be available to the public. So, but we will do clips and send them out, things like that. Just so that I would let y'all know, because I know not everybody can make it every single week. But we will do it. And if you're a channel member, you'll still have access to it behind the scenes. But the clips will just be coming out, a week or so after, when I have time to edit them down and make sure everything's copacetic behind the scenes. So that's that. Also, before we go any further, I have to give a shout out to our newest member who graciously I thought I had this, I thought I had his picture up, but who graciously decided to become a member a few days ago, Mr. Guy Stuckey. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, Guy. I hope sometime you can join us on the live stream so we can have, we can get to know you a little bit better, but there are some more things coming with the Mandyverse Collective. Don't even know the name of my own group. There are some things coming up that are going to be exclusive to the Mandyverse Collective. So you collective. Do you see why I need editing? There are going to be exclusive things coming added to the list for the Mandyverse Collective. So you will be able to take advantage of all of that stuff, Guy, as all of the other fellow channel members. Thank you so much for your support. But right now you do have access to exclusive content. You're going to have access to the complete live stream replay, as I have mentioned. You guys, I'm excited to be here. I think that's why I'm tripping over my words. Okay, I missed you last week. Okay. Obviously, when you're a channel member, you get exclusive content. You're going to have the live stream replay with the full chat, no interruptions, no editing. You get priority responses to comments, and also help us with our fundraising efforts for the Royal British Legion, because £1 of every membership fee gets automatically allocated as a donation, added to our monthly donations to that cause to help veterans and their families. I missed you guys. You have no idea. I missed you so much. Whoa! I hit the wrong button. You guys, I might be losing it. If you're interested in becoming a member, I posted the QR code that you can just scan. That'll be on the community, and also the link to become a member will be in the description box below, or you can just hit the join button below the video. I don't think it works for the live stream, but you can definitely do it on the next video that comes out. If you have any questions, comments, all that stuff, just ask, and I will do everything I can to help you out. And thank you all that are already members of the Mandyverse Collective. And thank you all for any of you that think about it and possibly become members in the future. If not, no big deal. We are an open channel. We accept everybody. Unless you're going to be violent or distribute hate. We don't accept that. Otherwise, all good. Need a minute. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a second and collect myself. I rushed through all of that because I was very excited. And I'm sorry that I rushed through it. Not taking anything away from you, Guy. We're very happy to have you with us. But I do want to be, I want to make sure that I want to make sure you guys realize how heartfelt this next part is. So before we dive into everything that we have planned for the day, I just wanted to take a moment to say something that's been on my heart a lot. And I really haven't paid enough attention to it because I've been so busy and consumed with, planning the shows and getting content out there for you guys and interacting. analytics and everything else that you guys don't care about. But I just want you all to know that I am genuinely so grateful for all of you. Whether you're a subscriber, whether you're a channel member, a supporter, or just somebody who's quietly watching from the sidelines, a lurker. You've given me such an incredible gift with this channel. And the fact that I have a space to speak my mind and share my thoughts, whether they are about big global events or everyday, quirks that I'm going through as an American living here in the UK. This community was really built with you guys. We've built it together, and it means more to me than I'll ever be able to really express. It's very rare, especially in this world that we're living in at the moment, to find a space online where you can talk to people openly, you can have a conversation and an opinion about politics, about culture, about personal experiences, about anything, and still keep it respectful and thoughtful and kind. And you do all of that. All of you that are part of this channel in any way do that. You allow that to happen. You show up with open minds, you listen, you challenge when you feel you need to, you support, but you don't write people off, and you don't stop caring. And that's powerful, and that is bigger than I could have ever imagined that this channel could be. It gives me so much joy, and it gives me so much hope, not just for my tiny little corner of the internet, but for the bigger picture of our lives, right? That this kind of honest conversation and curiosity can still thrive in such noisy, crazy times. So I just really wanted to take a minute to acknowledge that live for everybody, so you knew what it's somewhat scripted, but you can tell it's not all scripted because I keep still stumbling over my words. But I just really want to send you all a heartfelt thank you from the bottom of my heart, from every good place that's in me, of my soul, for being here, for caring, for listening, for coaching me, for laughing at me, for guiding me, for answering my questions, and for making this something real, and for making this journey easier. I couldn't have done it without you. So I just implore you to please just keep going in that spirit and stay positive, stay grounded, and keep making space. Keep making space for every kind of conversation and for every opinion, even if you don't agree with it. And even if we get to a point where we're really heated about it and, we argue over it, let's remember who we are. Let's remember what this community is, and not hold it against somebody or take it personally, so that we can learn and grow together. I mean, that's the only way to really thrive in the world, in my opinion. And that's what I wanted this space to be. And I feel like we've gotten there, and I feel like we have lots more to learn and lots more growth to encounter, but it's definitely something I'm looking forward to, and I can't wait to do it. And I feel so grateful and so lucky to have all of you to do it with. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Okay. Whew. Okay, so we're going to start moving on to the content, but first two things I have to do. First, I need to ask you if you could smash that like button if you haven't already. It just helps me with the algorithm and all that kind of stuff. And also, we have to check in with the chat and see who's here, because y'all know it don't matter. It's only better when y'all are here. Okay, let's see what's up. Manny is here. He's one of our channel members. Hello, Manny. Thank you for joining. Disco is back. Yay, Disco's back. We're so glad to have you back, Disco, the best moderator in the business. Really. Diane, who's also one of our members, is here. Hello, Diane. Thank you so much for joining, spending your Tuesday night with me. Hey, Disco. Glad to have you back. That was Manny. So, yeah, this is all you guys chatting as I thought I was talking, and I thought you guys were listening to me, but you weren't. Manny! Hi, Falco! Thank you for joining. So glad you're here. Who else? We have, look at all these people having chats together. I love it. I love that you guys chat like without me as well, because that feels like a real community. It's cool. You guys can do everything without me. I don't feel like I'm left out or anything. TJ's here. Yay! There we are. Yep, there I am. Oh, we have lots of people here today. Yeah. So yeah, TJ yelled at me. Yeah, I knew someone was going to bring it up to stop working when I'm taking a break. I can't help it. It literally, like, I have a really hard time turning it off. A really hard time. I did turn it off for a little bit while I was taking a break, though, to be fair. It is. It's my American work ethic. Yeah, I know. That is a good tip. You know what? Normally I do, but I had a sweater on at work, and I came home, obviously, it's really hot outside. You guys know that probably. And as I was walking home, I took the sweater off and everything because it was hot, and I didn't change before the show. Normally I change and I put on like my Hickson Diaries shirt or something, but yeah. So I didn't think it would matter, but hi, Clay. Thanks so much for being here today. John comments. Thank you. And John says, what's wrong with seeing bra? There's nothing wrong with it, I guess. I think it's just because it's imposing because it's white. There's nothing wrong with seeing bra. I don't really care normally, I guess. I'm feeling self-conscious about it, though. Oh. I appreciate you being here, though, John. You guys are awesome. Marsha, hi. Nice to see you. I feel like you've been here before. It's Marsha or Maria? It's Marsha, right? I feel like you've been on before, but you're not here often. But we're glad to have you whenever you can, and I'm glad that you're here with us tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. John, yeah, I know, John. I've been trying to do that. In all fairness, I've been trying to be very honest about how I play it and how I cut it and everything, but obviously I still have a lot to learn about it. So I'm open to it. I'm learning and everything, but I obviously have a lot to learn because it's starting to piss some people off. So, which I like I said earlier, I don't really care personally if someone does it. If someone reacts to my stuff, I just find it like exposure. So, and obviously that means usually they're nice about it and it means they like what I'm doing, but get your teeth in. Is that because I'm stumbling over my words? I haven't heard that expression. It's a very British expression. I assume that's what you're talking about. I'm just really excited to be back with you guys. I missed you all last week. I didn't know what to do with myself last Tuesday because normally as soon as I get home, I have a little bit of downtime and I catch up with the kid. And then I start working on the show and I start, figuring out what I'm going to do or pulling up everything that I've planned. And then in the interim, I'm making dinner and catching up on, family stuff that I need to get done, or I'm editing or something in between, recording something in between. So, I didn't do any of that last Tuesday. And I just kind of came home and it was just like another day. And I was like, I don't know what to do. It's really weird. Oh, you guys are funny. I love it. Oh, Piper's here. Yay. Hi, Piper. Thanks for joining. Glad you could make it this week. Disco says it's easy to have an open mind. I don't have one. It's all blank. Well, you know. Manny says, "Oh, Mandy, big hugs from all of us. You have built a fabulous community and we love being a part of it." Oh, thank you, Manny. I'm so glad that you are a part of it. I'm so happy that I have this opportunity. It's really, really funny. I was thinking about my first live stream that I ever did. I had nobody in the chat at all. And I was like opening my mail because I didn't know what to do. I had never done a live show before. And I was like, I don't know what I was supposed to really even talk about. And I had just been here like, I don't know, like a couple months or something at the most. So I didn't know what to do. And I remember I was like just opening my mail. I'm like, no wonder no one wanted to talk to me. How was so much someone open their mail? Anyways, I'm happy to be supportive of you, Disco, and everybody else. I try my hardest to just be a good person. Like we have a list of like family rules that we kind of guidelines that we follow. And the very first one is don't be a dick. So I just try to not be a dick. Like we just try our hardest to not be a dick and just be human. Yeah. So let's move on. Let's start doing stuff. I actually have a lot of stuff planned tonight, so I have no idea how late we're gonna go. But okay, a couple weeks ago. No, that's wrong. Let me reset. Maybe I need more water. Maybe I should have something stronger than water. Okay. So a couple days ago, I believe, it was the anniversary of the Windrush, which I had not heard of before. I don't even remember hearing it like last year or anything. I've heard the term Windrush, and I know like I've heard some people talk about it and stuff, but I really didn't know anything about it. So me being me, and me relying on this person for a very long time for British like knowledge, I went to my partner and I said, "So, what is Windrush?" And their response was, "Oh, that's when the people from the Caribbean came to the UK to work." And that's all I said. So I was like, okay, thanks. That tells me a lot. I was waiting for him to kind of go on and give me a little more, but he wasn't being very forthcoming. In all fairness, there was a game on and I interrupted him, so it was kind of my fault, right? But I figured, okay, I'll watch it with my crew and let's see. I can figure out what's going on there and they can answer my questions because they just seem to be a little bit more willing, I guess. That makes my partner sound awful, who's not awful at all, but they very, very into sports. Anyways, and to be honest, I'm probably going to get a better understanding talking about it with you guys anyway. But I can remember him asking me some questions about American stuff, and I would be like, I don't know, you'd probably want to look it up to get the real truth because I was educated in America, so I probably only know bits and pieces anyway. All right, so here's a video about the Windrush, and it's educating me. I don't know how much you all know about it, but I want to learn about it because I know it's obviously significant. You guys celebrate it. I know it has to do with immigrants from the Caribbean, right? And I think some of the territories that the UK had or were part of the empire at one point. I'm not sure if they're. Let's just watch it and find out. Do. No, we'll do it. We're gonna do it this one. Can we move me? No, that's why I do it this way. Okay. See, this is all stuff that needs to be edited out. All right. Britain's Windrush veterans, the battle to be British. This is from Channel 4 News, so I'm almost definitely, even though it's public broadcast, going to get copyrighted on it, but we're going to do it anyway. What the hell? Okay, was it specifically Jamaica or was there any other countries involved? First question. 11 seconds in.
As I see it, the Windrush people were actually invited to come to this country, to come to England.
That is me there. I am British. I told you I've been British all my life. That's me. Gloria and I had just got married.
Was it just Jamaica? Because the Caribbean's like several islands, and I know that the British had at least at one point control over several of the islands. So, sorry, my window's open. I feel like a fly's on me. So I'm just curious if it was like it was basically veterans, I think, right?
As far as I'm concerned, I was born British and British I stay. Growing up as a boy was idyllic. I used to go swimming every day that I can, running down from the house straight into the beach.
We won't talk too much of your own island, yeah? In geography, in history, and this sort of thing. It was always either England, Australia, America, or whatever the case may be, but never actually Caribbean.
All the schools had a photograph of the Queen. All the schools had a big photograph. I'll never forget it, of Trafalgar Square. And when I first went to England, I couldn't wait to see Trafalgar Square.
And it was at that time that I decided it's time maybe for me to spread wings and see what I can do elsewhere.
So Trafalgar Square, it seemed, I remember when I got shown a picture of it in America, it seemed kind of like, okay, unimpressive. But I remember when I was standing there and knowing that it was like a meeting place for like Nelson Mandela spoke there and a bunch of other great people and everything. And I was just, and what it represented and just where it's positioned and everything. I kind of felt the energy. There's a lot of places like that in London that I didn't think would like hit me like that, but ended up, once I saw it in person, did. And that's why you have to, if you have the means, obviously you have to travel, because it's so different in person. It's so different when you experience this stuff in person.
London is the place for me. I hope people don't think Windrush generation means people from Jamaica only. It's just the people who came around after, the Second World War. The first ship that went to England from the Caribbean is called the Empire Windrush. But I went on a ship called the Cascadian.
the journey from Antigua, I was 50.
Is this your first time in England? Yes. Are you coming to join your parents? Yes. Where do they live?
He's
We
a
arrived at the train station. It was cold, and then the morning, the train station was absolutely heaving. I didn't know London would be so cold. My teeth were nattering. My nose was expelling.
I would think coming from a place like the Caribbean, that it would be the weather would be a huge shock. The weather in London, I could imagine.
Juices that I didn't even have control over. I was in a desperate state. Suddenly, there's relief because I can hear my name being called, and it's my mother. And she had what I had seen for the first time, a coat, an overcoat. I've never seen one of those things. And gloves.
I've never seen an overcoat before. First of all, overcoat, very old word, but never seen a coat before. Wow, that's so wild, dude. Like when I have conversations with people who have never seen snow or have never seen the beach, I'm always baffled as well because I was lucky enough to grow up to see both, right? Wow. And also that kind of looked like Times Square a little bit. Old school Times Square. That's kind of funny.
When I first arrived, I came to meet an uncle of mine who was already established there. So we lived with him for, another cousin and I lived with him for a little while, well, probably about 3 months, until we could find ourselves our own digs. But that was difficult to get hold of in those days, and you're often greeted with the sign, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish.
That's disgusting. As if you're a dog, like you're in the same class. Ugh. I mean, I know what history is. I'm not naive, but it still gets under my skin when I see it.
When I get to England, it was strange. I cried for about a week. I didn't know anybody here.
In St. Vincent, even now, most people would meet you in the street and never set eyes on you before, but they tell you hello. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Matt. Then you go to England. When I got to Tottenham, I never forget, maybe the first day or two, you walk out, just walking around the area and see people in the garden hanging out their clothes. I was only a teenager. And I said, good morning. And the lady just turned her back and continued hanging out her clothes.
That happened to me. I would say good morning, or I would when I was passing someone on the street, I'd be like, hi, how are you? And they would just look at me like, what the I don't know you. What are you talking to me for?
And when I told my brother, who I was staying with, he laughed and he said, boy, this is England. White people don't talk to you like that in the street.
Mother had issued me with severe warnings about what I should and should not do. But as a young boy, I had to venture out. I had to have an adventure, see.
A warning of explicit language, y'all.
And that was when I was rudely awakened by the shouts of nigger or black bastard or whatever it is. And I suddenly realized life is going to be difficult here.
Were they not British citizens? Sorry, that was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous question. I mean, I'm American. We say things like that to our own citizens, even still today. I'm just always hopeful that the world is different. And then you have a moment of clarity and you get disappointed in humanity. But okay, today's not going to be about that.
In Great Britain, the only thing to stop these study boys from causing panic in England. Well,
When we first came, it was the era of the Teddy Boys and Haunted Rockers and that sort of thing, which I didn't really understand.
A crowd of 2,000 went through Notting Hill's streets, smashing windows and shouting plainly racialist slogans, demanding the deportation of all black immigrants.
Well, I think it was a Sunday afternoon when a cousin of mine and I visited Hyde Park and was almost naturally chased around by this gang of about 5 or 6 youths. Well, more than youths, really. Some of them almost grown-ups with their bicycle chains or sledgehammer, whatever they can carry. And the slogan was, well, kill the blacks.
What? That's just
One of the reasons why I left London to join the Air Force, and this may sound quite illogical, one of the reasons I left was because of the violence in London. I thought I want a quieter way of life. I want to get out of this.
no shit. These are people who fought in World War II as well. I mean, again, I'm noting the hypocrisy. I'm noting the hypocrisy of being an American, because we still treat people that fought for our country and the United States like this sometimes. There are actually undocumented people who fight in the armed forces and then get deported once they're done with their service in America. Like, you should, if you're going to sign up for that, then you should get automatic citizenship, in my opinion. Like, if you're going to fight for a country, like, you should just get automatic citizenship. You shouldn't even, it shouldn't even be an issue. It should have happened during basic training, in my opinion. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit angry. This wasn't supposed to. Okay.
I was not yet quite 18 years of age, and 1958.
I joined the army. This was in 1962. This photograph of me means a lot. It's my first stripe, as you can see. Very proud day.
This is the first ship I was on in the Navy. I was only a youngster, my very first ship. And this is all the beers that we had drunk.
Cyprus did get a bit tricky when the Turks invaded in 1972, and I was a sector warden trying to get people out of the danger and find bullets and things.
I was in a Land Rover with another English guy, and they threw a grenade under the Land Rover. And I had facial cuts and broken fingers and scars and legs, but he lost his leg, and I think one of his eye as well.
Served in Northern Ireland 2 or 3 times. If you could imagine the paramedic on the streets here now, and what happens with the stabbings and occasional shootings and bombings, etc., it was worse then.
I remember arriving at the Ministry of Defense building as very young senior NCO, only to be told by the officer I was reporting to, quite a senior officer, that you can't work here, you're black.
My administrative officer at the time, he sent for me one morning, great gleaming smile on his face below his mustache. And he said to me, Corporal, your promotion to sergeant has come through. But, and the smile disappeared from his face. But, he said, I'm not going to let you have it. I don't think our corps is ready for black sergeants. The bottom fell out of me, to say the least.
One captain actually tried to get me demoted. And I'm sure to this day that it was because of my color. He didn't see why the only black person on that ship should be in charge of communications.
In 1962, Jamaica got independent. And the admin, they came to us. They get all the West Indians together and let them know that the country is independent and they got to get them passports. Yeah?
The difference between citizenship and subject was, I don't think, was really understood by a lot of people. Because if you're a British subject with a British passport, surely you must be, we thought, a British citizen, not understanding that who are citizens and who are not.
I think it was my
So they were not considered British citizens. They were considered subjects. I'm just making sure I understand this because I was also under the impression if you have a British passport, you're a British citizen. So obviously, I don't know what the difference between what it is now, but okay. I don't know why it should have been different, especially if they were in the service, but okay.
sister called and asked if I had registered as a British citizen. I said, I don't need to. I was born British. She said, oh, no, because St. Vincent is independent now. So, according to the government, you're not British anymore. I said, look, I was born British. I'm in the British Navy. How could I not be British?
Yeah.
So she said, I said, so how do I do? She said, you have to pay. I went to the captain. So what should I do then? He said, well, you have to pay. I said, no, sir. And he said, why?
He should not have to pay. He's in the service. That's insane.
Wouldn't you pay? You have the money? I said, sir, I'm a senior rate. I make more than that in a day, a lot more than that. But it's my principle. Why should I pay? I've just come back from the Falklands, fighting for Britain. And you're telling me, well, thank you very much, old boy, but you're not really one of us, you know. If you want to be one of us, give us 70 quid. And I said, that's not on.
So I was fairly mad at
Right. I'm sorry. I would have told him to F off. Oh. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what I would have said because that's a tough position, obviously. But, like, that's my instinct. Go F yourself.
about it. I thought, well, how could this be? The answer was, you seek a citizenship or you don't belong.
I think it was election day in 1983. I just got into work and everyone started asking for my autograph. I couldn't figure out what it was. But one of my cousins had spoken to the press. I think it was the Mirror. And I think the headline, it said, Hero Without a Homeland.
This was happening in 1983? Like that recent. Yeah, the Falklands War. Yeah, that wasn't that long ago. I'm sorry, I'm just putting a timeline together. I was thinking like World War II era, but all the way up to 1983. That's fucking shocking.
So what did we hear, Fred?
Second World War photographs of people from the Caribbean that actually served in the Second World War.
And do we know who they are?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Flight Lieutenant Williams, Williams, yeah, and Sergeant Mackenzie, yes.
When Britain went to the Caribbean to recruit, they didn't go and pick up Tom, Dick, or Harry. They went to the top schools.
Yeah.
And these guys had to take a test.
Yeah.
They had to take a proper exam before they become eligible to join the RAF.
So more or less they took the cream.
They took the cream.
Yeah.
Every one of these people gathered together in this studio is a West Indian. Every one has come across 4,000 miles of ocean from that great bay in the Atlantic which lies between North and South America, the Caribbean Sea. Of the African slaves who were brought across to work on the sugar plantations. Today, West Indians have common citizenship and common cause with us, and they have come over to help us.
At the end of the last war, quite a number of ex-servicemen, black ex-servicemen, at the end of the war, were forcibly returned to Jamaica. Forcibly. Yeah, some even went back in chains, and that is absolutely honest. It was some of those people who were recruited to come back to UK in 1948.
Wow. Wow.
Started when my partner, who was on a student visa, became pregnant, and she had a rough pregnancy, and then she was premature as well. The baby came 3 months before it should be. The doctors advised her, because she was vomiting all the time, she couldn't attend college. And when she applied for her renewal of her visa, they told her because she wasn't attending college that she would have to go home. This is a picture of the day before Marva and Nathan went to Jamaica.
Ugh.
And they're in Jamaica for 2.5 years before they returned to England.
It was really hard. It was like my world is tearing apart. It's not like I have family right there, so I'm gonna go, I'm gonna stay with them, I'll be fine. I get there and life was unbearable.
Okay, that's one of my biggest fears. One of my biggest fears is that something's gonna happen and I'm gonna have to go back to America and leave my kid behind, because there's no way I'm taking her with me to that fucking hellhole. And I'd have to leave her behind with my partner. Wow.
I used to work with the bus company, and I used to do 18 hours a day because I had to keep my home here and look after them over there. What I used to do is to make sandwiches in the morning, jam sandwich. And when I go to work, I used to have to sit and say, excuse me, I gotta go do this or do that. And then I go and sit on a different table from my friends for them to not see what I'm eating, And I worked nearly 2 years straight, never get a day off. I used to sell my holidays to others to make the money for Marva and Nathan to live out in Jamaica.
I think the visa was 91,000 Jamaican dollars, and that is hard to put together. So it takes us a while to make the money up. Then it's the fear. It's like, to us, thank God for doorstep lender, because how would we get the money? It's just friends and relatives and doorstep lenders, and we're still paying off debts that we still...
What's a doorstep lender? Is that like a loan sharker?
We still owe.
I had to pay through the nose, but I had to do it at that point because I had to make sure that they get back here.
Suddenly, the government has turned around and decided, well, you're not welcome anymore.
It's ridiculous the way we're being treated. There are us three who are basically the same generation, one in the Army, one in the Navy, and one in the Air Force. I mean, that's only 3 of us from a little village in St. Vincent. And there are lots of other West Indians who I know are in the forces and so on.
And that is the reason for what we're having today. And I
You rule the waves. We had to do morning devotion and put our pledge to the Queen of England. Now I am saying that the enemies of England are more welcome in England than we, the Caribbean people, who worked in this island planting cotton.
My family, being British, could be traced right back to 1869. My grandfather, whose name incidentally was James A. Providence, he was a child slave, born just before the actual end of the slavery. And it's documented somewhere that he was the first black Caribbean person to own a plantation in the Caribbean. All this used to be Westwood Estate. First, it used to be in sugarcane. And then they used to have a lot of cocoa and cotton and sweet potato. We were close.
This is why colonization is not, acceptable anymore in the modern day, because you can't, obviously slavery is completely unacceptable and colonization is right up there with it, because you can't treat people lesser just because they're different from a different country or they're different skin color. Like, it's just, you can't, that whole concept has to be completely wiped from our existence, wiped from our society. All of that stuff that surrounds it. It's gross, it's disgusting. To quote one of my favorite YouTubers, Bits and Pieces, we're all humans. There's one human race. There's one race. It's humans. We're the human race. We have to love each other like that.
We're very big family instances, the Providences, and we're all related.
Wasn't that the one? We were British subject, which is out of order, out of place.
Rubbish. My passport said citizen of the United Kingdom and
After you don't go and fight for them. After you don't go and war and fight for them. Before that, you was British subject, out of place.
When I left here,
and now they're telling you.
When we left here, we were a colony. So we were citizens of the United Kingdom and colonies.
Well, still now they're sending you out.
They can't send you out.
Okay, that was interesting.
It is absolutely crucial to the community if we're able to continue to provide a meeting place for Caribbean elderlies. When we're young, we don't really bother about the problems of life, but we can handle it. As we become older, everything becomes an issue and becomes a danger. So if we're able to meet together, we give each other assurance, reassurance of life not being as hard as it appears to be.
I want to take on the same topic. I think it's this prejudice and this whatever is still here, and nothing could change it. No prime minister could change any of that.
If you don't know, textile petrol,
It's so sad. It's so sad that she thinks that and feels that. Oh, my heart goes out to her.
Also,
you know, it's puzzling to find out why they want to treat you like that now and say you have to prove you're British.
I'm in my 70s now. I left there when I was, 14, 15. So, you know, I spent all of my adult life here.
I was British until the time of my problems with Marva and Nathan. I was British all the way through because I did not know any different. Every time they change the rules, people are not aware of those changes. It's not explained in details. You get a little bit here, a little bit there, and that's how a lot of people get caught out.
Nothing has changed for Windrush generation. The kids from Windrush generation are still in no man's land. There's nothing that indicate that, yes, they are sorted, and no.
Certain people in Britain will always see you as a foreigner, regardless of how British you feel. As you walk on the streets, your color, some people will always see you as not belonging.
But will you allow that to stop you feeling British?
No, that wouldn't affect the way I feel inside.
It was horrible, and I hope it never, ever be that way again, ever, because a lot of people get hurt, and it's not pretty, you know? Yeah.
See, that's the thing, is we're not like, we don't come out of the gate thinking that, you know, races should be an issue or anything like that. It's stuff that we're taught by society. So that's why we have to like break that out of society and kick that to the curb, because this is ridiculous. They served their country. They lived in one of the Commonwealths. Like, they should have been grandfathered in or something. There should have been they should have been thought through better. Well, that was sad. I stand by my earlier statement when I was talking about the the immigrants that were fought for the U.S. forces and then were deported. They should have gotten citizenship. I agree that I think that applies to this case and any other case anywhere. If you're willing to put your life on the line for that country, then you obviously have a tie to that country to want to protect it and its people, and therefore you should get citizenship, or at least be fast-tracked. I don't know why that's even arguable. I'm sorry if anyone is offended by that. Actually, I'm not sorry if anyone's offended by that. That's how I feel. That's how it should be. Anyways, that was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. But I'm glad I watched it because I didn't know any of that. And I had no idea that it was as recent as it was either. I've never been to the Caribbean, and I'm really gutted that I've never gotten to go to the Caribbean. Because I heard it's all of it is gorgeous. But oof. All right, I'm just trying to go back to, let's see. Oh, Piper, that's so sweet. Thank you. Honestly, what keeps me going, Piper, is that I don't want to let you guys down. Like, I tell you I'm going to do something. I promise you I'm going to have a certain amount of content out, or certain types of content, or I'm going to do this. And I hate not fulfilling promises. I hate saying that I'm going to do things. I'm not one of those people at all. So that's what keeps me going. And the fact that I can schedule things out helps a lot, so I could do it in advance. But that's really sweet of you to say. Thank you. You'll find motivation. It's amazing, the motivation and the effort that you'll put into something when it really touches your soul and your heart, and it's something that you are really passionate about. Then you don't even think about it. You don't even, there's sometimes where I'm just like, I'm tired and I kind of have to pep myself up to whatever it is I'm doing. But most of the time, I can't turn it off, like I was saying earlier. So when you find that passion, like that you're really passionate about, you'll just accept that that's part of your life. Don't feel ashamed, Clay, unless, you're directly affected that. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We had a shortage of skilled workers after the war, and they came to bail us out, TJ says, and basically got very little for it. I don't know what you're talking about, Piper, but if you want to send me an email and elaborate, I'm happy to talk to you about it. Mainly Caribbean, right? With the Windrush, Falco says, with the Windrush, the UK gained some great music. Fair. Gained a lot of stuff. Guyana, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, Bermuda. Manny says, I say it was mainly the countries in the Caribbean that were part of the Commonwealth, Jamaica, Barbados, Guyana. Yeah, okay. They landed in Turok. I know, I'm with you, Piper. I don't understand when people don't want to travel. I'm like obsessed with travel, so. But some people do. They just they want to stay in their own little safe circle. And that's fine, but it's just, that's fine. Just don't judge from that circle. I don't know who any of these people are, Manny, but I really appreciate you sharing, and I appreciate that you had a really fun and good encounter with these people. I don't know who any of them are. But shout out. Marcia says Guyana is a beautiful country. I would love to visit. I would love to visit every country. And her dad went to school with Ram John Holder, Manny. I agree with you, Disco. I think from my perspective, it seems like they were all British anyways, right? Like if you're part of the Commonwealth, I don't know, because like the only things we really have that are close to that are like American Samoa, Guam, and Puerto Rico. I think that's all that American principalities are. And they don't have the same rights as Americans do, which I think is ridiculous. But I would assume, I know for a fact, at least from Puerto Rico, that there's tons of people that are part of the armed forces. So I would hope that they'd be fast-tracked to citizenship, but who the hell knows? TJ's coming back. We'll wait. Piper says, I remember at school there was a kid who'd never seen snow before, and I think as a child that was the first time I started to think, oh yeah, there are different weather in different countries. I was 11. Yeah. It's just like anything else though, right? When you start to talk to someone that sees it from a different perspective, you're like, oh yeah. Right? Like, oh, I probably was lucky to be able to experience snow and be able to go to the beach in my childhood, right? That's probably pretty lucky. Windrush generation does not mean only veterans. Windrush generation also refers to women, children, also men that were not veterans who moved to the UK around that time. All right. Thank you for that, Piper. Appreciate that clarification, because I was confused. I was trying to figure it out. Yeah, the Falklands War was in 1982. I thought like it wasn't that long ago. That's why I was like, when they started mentioning it, I was like, what? Even that recently? Totally agree with you, TJ. They were treated abysmally. Piper says they are celebrated today, well, usually thought of respect at the very least, because their generation helped the UK economy a lot after the world wars, and how brave they are with what the racism and discrimination many of them went through once they got here. And Marcia says they use you, then they dump you. That is the way. See, a lot of people want to get bogged down in things like race or religion or gender or sex or sexual orientation or point of view even, right? Or education. It has nothing to do with that. The war isn't there. The war is between the powerful and the not powerful. And it's always been that way. And I don't understand why anybody, especially in today's age, can see it any differently. People who have power and want to keep it versus people who give them that power either through voting or through working for the company or paying their taxes or consuming, that product or whatever. That's where the war is. The war is class. The war isn't between anything else, guys. Sorry. I'm fired up. That fired me up. Okay. Disco says, unfortunately, the British government isn't always the best of things during World War II. There were Polish people that fought with us in the Battle of Britain that after the war were deported. I hear you, and I know that, America is not any different. I mean, America basically forgave Nazis and forwent a lot of their sentences in order to have them come to America and help like with inventions and science breakthroughs and stuff for like the space race and things like that. So, I mean, my country's not any better by any means. Yeah, I've heard about the Gurkhas, and honestly, Marja, everybody that I talk to about the Gurkhas that since I've lived here has done nothing but praise them. And I got to see them march in a Memorial Day thing, and it was really cool. I think I have a short up about it as well because it was just awesome. You could tell they're so proud. They never used to get a pension after military service. Piper says they are fortunately seen as different because they came from countries that were colonies. Back then, people from the colonies were looked down on and seen lesser than. Like my country directly controls your country, so you're lesser. Thankfully, people nowadays see overseas territories as part of the UK, just like England, Scotland, and Wales, rather than the lesser. I do agree, but there is some of that. Like I've seen some of that pompousness with other countries, particularly other European countries, and particularly if they don't speak English. I've seen that kind of like attitude, and it pisses me off. I used to work with people who did it a lot because we were in the shipping and receiving department. So a lot of the drivers would be from Europe and obviously wouldn't speak great English. The British people that were in the office would get really, really annoyed about it and be kind of rude about it. And I got my back up and I wasn't even involved, but I was just like, leave them alone. They're trying. It's not their fault. They're just trying to do their job too. Falco says it's worth watching the Battle of Bamber Bridge on YouTube to see the true attitude of World War II. I think that came up on my feed, and I think I made a note about it. But if I haven't, I'm making a note now. Thank you, Falco. I was thinking about it, so I will definitely plan that in. TJ says a doorstep lender is usually the Provi or the tick man. Thanks for that, TJ, but that didn't help me at all. I have no idea what any of that means. I'm assuming it's like a loan sharker. So like like when the mafia lends you money. I don't know if you guys know that. That's a very American reference, but Marcia agrees to watch the Battle of Bamber Bridge. So we'll definitely put that on the list, you guys. Catching up. Yeah, okay. So you basically borrow from someone who has money with a really ridiculous interest rate. Got it. Certain Brits bore me too. I don't know what you mean by that, Marja. I don't know what you mean by Agent Smith, but feel free to elaborate if you'd like to. As I'm British, I'm sometimes disgusted with my own government. That I hear you. I mean, and you probably feel this as well. I'm sure you guys feel this. Just really uncomfortable facing certain moments in your country's history, right? Like sometimes you're just like, oh, you wish you could go back and be like shake the people into like common sense. Why are you doing this? This is not going to turn out well. I have those moments almost daily about American history and American present. Manny says, look at how many people from the West Indies made a hugely great and positive influence to British society and culture. It's really not nice to see how these people were treated the way they were. Yeah. And when you think about anybody that comes to contribute, I mean, look, anybody who is willing to leave their home and start over in a different country it's a difficult thing to do, okay? But if you're in a situation where you thought you were part of that society already, and then you're basically told, no, you're not, figure it out. I mean, that's gotta be a knife in the back. Like I could not even imagine. I did, did you send it to me a while ago about Bamber Bridge? I'm sorry, Disco. You sent me a lot. I did see the one about the Gurkhas. I know I didn't get rid of any of the ones that you sent me. So they're all in a file somewhere. But like I say, it did come up on my feed and it has been in my mind. So I'll go and look and pull your video out and we'll do it in a week or so. Agent Smith in the Matrix. I don't know who that is. I haven't seen the Matrix in a long time. Was that the like guy who was trying to get Keanu Reeves back into the Matrix? Was that trying to like destroy the people who knew they were in the Matrix? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Hi, Laura Meme. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a Yank here from South Florida. Loveland Anglophile. Wish I could move to the UK. You can, Laura. You can. You got to find the right visa and you got to save up lots of money. But you can if you want to. Oh, you meant lifelong Anglophile. Got it. Yeah, listen, you can do it. I'm telling you right now. It's beautiful. It's lovely. And it's, it's got its problems. It's not perfect by any means. But it's a great place to live, if you ask me. If there's anything I could do to help, you have any questions, Laura, let me know. Disco says, in about 1100 AD, we removed slavery from England. Then in 1833, we tried to be the first to remove it from the world. You removed slavery from England in 1100? Why did it take you so long to remove it from the rest of the world? Meaning like your Commonwealth and empire countries, or like you just tried to influence everybody else at that point? Oh my gosh, thanks so much, Laura. I appreciate it. We love having you here, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. I said that twice, but hey. Okay. I have a bunch of other stuff planned, but we're probably not going to get to all of it because it's already 20 after 1. That took a lot longer to get through than I thought. Oh, see, this is the community I love. See, you guys are awesome. Yes. It is much more cramped than in America, just FYI. I'm curious, Laura, if you're from Florida, how's it going? I hear a lot of stories about things that are happening in Florida. How are you doing? Are you okay? Everybody okay? I hope so. Okay. So I put this picture out. Laura's like, yeah. I put this picture out and we started a new thing called Caption This. So I'm going to every once in a while put out a weird picture of myself and then have you guys come up with some captions and see what happens. And just see what you guys think. So if you guys have not participated and you want to put something in the chat, let me know and I will read them aloud. But this is Caption This. And let's see. Let's see what people say. So Lord, I'll show you guys this part. Oh, I don't know if I could share more than one thing. That's disappointing. So that's the caption. I'm gonna leave it up for a minute and then we'll go on. We'll go on. I need I need a producer. An editor. Okay. So there you go. You can still see it. You can still throw captions in there. Ready? So the first one is from Lord Flashget 8780. That's it just when you don't need one. Fair. David Ham 7909 says, darn it, I forgot my nail varnish. That would be funny, except I would never say nail varnish. Nail varnish is a very, very British term. We say nail polish, but still funny. Paul Welch 4373 says, I think my chin is still loose from the surgery. I think if I had surgery, it wouldn't be my chin. It would probably be my crow's feet and my wrinkles under my eyes. Mark Thomas 2577 says, eek, I'm growing a beard. I am not growing a beard. I'm not growing a beard. I swear. See? Smooth. Oh, Chris Ward says deep in thought. Very rarely, but I appreciate the confidence. UXB54 says, I think my right arm must be at least a meter long. I always think that whenever I take selfies and stuff, I always feel like that part of my body looks twice as big. You're absolutely right. What's the trend that was going around on Instagram or something a few years ago? I think this is back when I was in America still, where you would shoot it in a certain ratio, and it's supposed to be like a power shot. It would be like up like this or something. I don't know. I'm sure that if there's any younger people here, they would know. Ancient Britain 1948 says American pondering time zones. I do forget that I'm only in one time zone here. Like I do forget that we're all on the same time zone. And I have to, like, when I'm trying to figure out what programs to watch and people to call, I'm like, okay, so it's this time here and New Jersey is this far behind. And then like LA is this far behind. Okay, that's what time it is. It's like the middle of the night. Okay. And Graham Humphrey says, put 2 shovels up against a wall and ask them to take their pick. Oh, that one's my favorite. Oh, I would never. I would never. I would be too nervous to like do that. That was fun. That was a good little palate cleanse. Piper says overseas slave trade was seen as fine for ages, but slavery in England had been banned for ages. Got you. So they were just kind of like, we're just not doing it here. You do what you got to do, boo. Got you. Yeah, slavery does still go on in various things. But here's the thing, Marja. And I get really sensitive about the slavery subject when it comes to like the American version and the timelines and everything, because obviously I have more of a direct connection. But American slavery was institutional. It was part of the country from the beginning of the country. So like it's, I don't know, it's a particular thorn on my side. It hits a little bit differently, I feel like. But you're absolutely right. Slavery still happens. I told you, it's about classes. It's not about anything else, guys. It's about people who have money and power and don't want to lose it, and the people that have to work their butts off in order for them to maintain that money and power. That's all it is. That's the difference. We're actually a lot more alike in common than people think we are. We think it's because the king at the time wanted to make money, so can't remember if he taxed people with slaves or he got some sort of profit from it, so slavery died off. That's smart. I mean, it was a byproduct of his greed, but sometimes, see, not all people who have money and power are smart. They're not all smart. Clearly. And clearly, we're very grateful when they're not. We need a few of those types of people running things right now so that some of this other stuff can go away and just fall out of favor with society, you know? Oh, see, this is like the third or fourth person to say to Laura to come and you're welcome. This is why I love this community. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. Yes, please, please, please press the like as this goes, reminding us if you have not already. I see there's more people that are watching than have pressed the like. I'm not going to say how many because I don't want to call you out specifically, but it's enough to be noticeable. Oh, you're so sweet, Manny. Thank you so much. TJ says the Magna Carta in 1215 laid the ground rules for anti-slavery. UK slavery was, I'm assuming you meant illegal. I did not get to see the Magna Carta yet, or the site of the signing of the Magna Carta. Do you guys have a Magna Carta in one of your museums? Probably, I think. But I know when we drove to Windsor that we like drove through the area that it was signed or something like that. And we didn't get a chance to stop, which is unusual for us because usually we take that opportunity to stop, but we didn't get a chance because we were on a timeline. But definitely on my list to go back. Piper, Disco says the king was William the Conqueror. William the Conqueror from Hastings. King Harold he killed in order to take power. And in modern day England was born. She can be taught. Piper says that English common law did not recognize slavery, meaning it was not legal to own a person as property. This part of history is interesting. It got properly challenged in court in the 1700s. Ooh, that is interesting. Jane Austen's Mansfield Park deals with slave trade. Great book, great series. Thanks, Laura. I have not read that one, actually. I don't know that one, so I will definitely put that on my list. Right now, I'm in the middle of reading my namesake's book, Mandy Hickson from the RAF, but I will definitely put that on my list. Okay, we have a few minutes left, so we're going to delve into this one real quick. And we're going to start with Lucy. Our dog in our dog in England. Our dog in America. We miss her. But she's so sweet and she's so cute. But we got her in a good home and everything before we left. But she reminds me of home. We've been thinking of home a little bit more lately. Some things have been going on. So I put out a post as well saying, or if anyone was curious about my life in the US and if there's anything specific you wanted to learn more about, I might do videos on some of these as well, just to see if I can. Obviously, it depends on if it's a video or not. I haven't read these yet, so I'm not sure. But I wanted to share them with you guys to see what y'all thought. And if you had any questions, I can answer them. So I don't know if it's Charlie or Collie 7782 says, oh, you have a couple of them. Let me go from bottom up. Sometimes it's fun to go from bottom up. Giant Haystack says, it's late and I can't sleep, but attitudes towards religion sound quite different. Would be interested in your thoughts on that. That's a pretty good question. Thoughts on religion. I mean, that is a video topic, to be honest with you, so I could probably work that one out. But to answer your question, my personal thoughts on religion are, I'm atheist, so that should tell you everything you need to know about that. My thoughts on religion in America is that it is a small minority of people that are Christian, evangelical Christian, which is kind of like born-again Christianity, from my understanding. And there's a small minority of those people, but they're very loud, they're very vocal, and they're really good at organizing. And even though we are founded on the freedom of religion, we don't necessarily have the tolerance to back it up. And that's pretty evident when you look at the discrimination that's happening right now with Muslims and Iranian and other Middle Eastern people in America, and how they're being treated. So it's not exclusive to them, and it's been going on for a long time with various different religions. So I think that it would be a good topic to kind of delve into a little bit. I will say that it's really interesting to me, and I say this a lot. I'm pretty sure I've said this on videos or live streams, but I do think it's interesting that a country like England, that has a national religion, that has a monarch that was anointed by God, has less religious undertones and pressure than a place like America that is supposed to be free, and that many people actually immigrated to because of religious persecution in their home country. I personally feel like religion is just the root of a lot of evil in the world. It's not that religion itself is evil or anything like that. It's that people use religion in an evil form and to justify evil acts that I don't think are fair and justifiable. My opinion, I'm just going to leave it at that. Graham Humphreys says, why did you leave? Maybe for a better life or to experience different cultures. Curious to know. England is much richer now that you're here. I'm not being sarcastic. Well, maybe just a little. Thank you, Graham. That was really nice of you to say. Thank you. Yeah, it basically boils down to it, and I have a couple videos about this, and I'll leave them in the link below for you, Graham, so they're easy to find. But it was basically boiling down to gun culture is getting really, really close to home. My daughter had had a couple lockdowns in her school because of gun activity in the area. Luckily, everybody was safe and unharmed in school and everything, and it didn't become a school shooting. But that was too scary to get 2 of those calls. Also, healthcare was getting to be so astronomical. It was almost an entire paycheck basically to cover all of our costs between the insurance that we were paying for and the savings that we had for all the bills and stuff afterwards. And that was simple stuff that wasn't even, no one had any chronic illnesses or anything like that. And being that we're in the second half of our lives, my partner and I were really worried about, losing everything that we worked for health reasons or because one of us got sick or hurt. And basically to just give our daughter a little bit more opportunity at an actual life rather than a life that would be in some kind of servitude towards somebody else, whether it be because of debt, whether it be because their healthcare was tied to their jobs, or whether it just be not having the opportunity. And we made the right decision. Kali or Choli, or I'm going to call you Kali, and let me know if you see this and I'm wrong. Please tell me how to pronounce it so I can do it correctly. If you write again and again, it says, P.S. nice dog. Thank you. She was adorable and we loved her and we miss her. But Kali asks, I would like to know how people in the US think it's other countries are lesser places or that other countries can be different without being demonized. I.e. socialized healthcare would lead to some kind of Stalinist hell. I hope that makes sense. Okay, well, when it comes to the healthcare thing, basically there's a ton of money in healthcare, whether it be the doctors, whether it be the people that perform any of the procedures or tests in the hospital, whether it be prescription drugs or anything like that. There's just a ton of money that is built into the healthcare system, as well as the insurance companies and all of that. So because of all of that, there's tons of propaganda to try to push people away from socialized medicine, because then they would lose money. We do have socialized medicine for the really, really poor, and it's being means tested like crazy every chance that people get. We have right now, as of now, we still have that. And as of now, we still have socialized healthcare for veterans. And we have socialized healthcare for elderly, for retirees. And we also happen to have socialized healthcare for anyone who has been in federal government service. So like all our Congress people and the president and all of that, they get healthcare for free. So they don't care about changing it because it doesn't affect them. That's the specifics on the healthcare. So basically it's propaganda to say, oh, socialism, it's like, you know, dictatorship or something. They want to take away all your rights and everything. Socialized medicine worked for my dad. My dad was a veteran, and so was battling cancer and he had COVID complications. He ended up succumbing to all of that, but my mom was still able to keep her house because all of it was paid for by the government. All the treatments, all the radiation, all the ambulance visits, the hospital visits, all the at-home health care when he was sick and dying, all of that stuff was taken care of. Otherwise, they would have lost their house by far, because they did not have good enough insurance and did not have any enough savings to cover any of that. So for me, socialized medicine works before I even came here. But here I've had some personal experience and an experience with people that in my private life that have used the healthcare here. And I'm never gonna say anything negative about it. I love it. I pay extra into it, but I'm happy to do so because I think it's one of the greatest things that's ever been invented, that the government's going to take care of its people's health so they can have a good, healthy society and thrive. But America thinks about stuff like that and thinks that their ways are the best because we're fed propaganda from birth, basically, that America is the greatest country in the world. That's why everyone wants to be there. That's why everybody wants to be American. Everybody looks at us like the beacon on the hill. We do everything the best. We are the best, and nobody can say anything different. So we always we're groomed to look at other countries and the way other countries do things like it is lesser, like it's something that we want to shy away from, because heaven forbid we admit that we're not great at anything or something, even one thing. Kali also asks, if people don't have paid holiday or vacation, what do they do to relax? Drink, substances in general. If they relax, it's not really a relaxing culture. It's more of a work till you die kind of culture. It's really hard to relax in America, even when you're intentional about it, as we were intentional about it. It's still really difficult because everything around you is rushing and everything around you is constantly on the go. So it is very, very hard. You get some vacation. Some companies are gracious enough to give you vacation, but most of them don't give you enough, especially compared to what you get here in the UK. But thank you guys for participating. If there's anything else you guys want to know, you can always ask. Piper says, The phrase England was too pure an air for slaves to breathe in is associated with the Somerset case, Somerset versus Stewart, 1772. That's what you were referring to in your comment, TJ. Got it. Which significantly impacted the legal status of slavery in England. All right, well, I'm going to look some of that up too. That's interesting. Piper with all the history knowledge today. Not sure I agree with that phrase. Yeah. It's not the greatest phrase, but if it had a good enough outcome, I'll take it. Slogans aren't always the best, but if they work, they get the end result, then I am willing to forgive them. I love Jane Austen too, Marja. Piper says, too pure, we sound so snobby. That's only because you're British. Just accept it. In 1807, TJ said we made the trade illegal throughout the British Empire. Good. Disco sent me a video on the British crusade against slavery, but it might get blocked now. I'll do it anyway. See, the thing is, doing it on the live streams isn't as big a deal. Doing it as a video and uploading it, because it has to do with monetization. So that's part of the reason why I want to, not put these out as videos themselves, as uploads, because that's part of the problem. That's part of where I'm getting into trouble. But as long as I'm doing it on a live, it's not, and I'm not making any money, because I'm not making any money off of this, right? So as long as I'm doing it on a live, I'm okay. Or if I think if I clip it and demonetize it, it will too. I have to check my settings, because all my settings are set to monetization, because I was so excited when I got monetized. But yeah, now some of the stuff I think just needs to be out there. It doesn't matter if I make money on it. You guys know it doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of matters, right? Because we're raising money for a great charity and everything. And obviously, I want to do as much as I can for you guys, and I can't do everything by myself. But I think that there are certain topics that are worth talking about, even if you're not going to get monetized for it or anything. So I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look at all your stuff that you sent me, Disco. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure it out. Just bear with me. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, TJ. And the funniest part is, like, the evangelical Christians in America are like, even other Christians either despise them or they despise the other, like, factions of the religion. It's really crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, thank you for the warning, Piper. I'll bear that. Maybe that's one that I won't do raw, and I'll pre-watch it just to double check. Laura says, I have a great John Lennon quote that I would love to share, but it's too long for the chat. Maybe I can leave it in the comments. I am not going to upload this. So you can leave it in the comments, or just put it in the comments of one of the posts that we went over, Laura, and I can check it out from there. But I'm sure it's a great quote because it's John Lennon, and he was a pretty good poet. Did you see the Trump to march or not to march video on his birthday? My veteran friends tell me the U.S. did this on purpose. I think you're talking about the parade for Trump's birthday that was supposed to be about the birth of the American Army. That definitely got overshadowed. I'm not sure what you mean about the Trump. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I know what you're talking about, Falco. So if you can either send me a link or I'll do some research after this and get back with you. I have a terrible Trump impersonation, but it's hard. He's been in our freaking lives for so long. It's hard not to have one. Oh, is that what you're talking about? Is this what you're talking about, Falco? The Forces video on a subject comparing Trooping to Color with Trump's parade. Is that what you mean? Because if that is, I haven't seen it, but I would love to. Falco's, I'm always on it. Falco is on it, to be fair. Bye, Manny. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, as always. Hi, Baden. Thank you for joining. She does not have an English accent with me. When she's home, she's got her American accent. But when she's with her friends or when she's around a lot of British people, she has a British accent. It's really hilarious. And she can turn it off and on. Like when we're abroad, she can put a British accent on, make people think she's British. Or she put the American accent on. Okay, Disco has something he'd like to say. I will on his behalf. Before we go, I'd like to apologize for not being able to moderate for you all and Mandy the other week, but I've had several family emergencies. The one on that night was my wife being rushed to the hospital. So sorry, folks. I'm just going to speak on my behalf, of course, but you never, ever have to be sorry, Disco, for taking care of family first. As much as I love you guys and as much as I could do this forever, I understand that I am not your whole life. Okay? I mean, I should be, obviously, but I understand that I'm not. And you guys know as well that my family is more important to me than anything. And if I was in your shoes, nothing would be happening, right? No, nothing would be posted, nothing would be up. We wouldn't be having the live stream because my family is the most important thing. I'm glad to hear that things are better on that front, Disco, and we wish you nothing but the best. And whatever you need to do to take care of your family, you do. Do not worry about us. We will be okay. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. I wasn't going to, Disco told me behind the scenes, but I wasn't going to say anything because it's not my business. But we've been conversing back and forth. So I'm very glad to have you back, though. And very glad that she's doing better. Okay. I'm definitely going to check out the Trooping the Color and the Trump thing. I'm going to do a react on that and put it out there for you guys. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted. We'll see what happens. Anyways, that's going to be it for me since we're almost 2 hours. And I do have to work tomorrow. So I was going to wrap things up a little bit here. But we didn't get to do the react to blanks no one asked for, but I do have permission from them to do the react. So we will do it in a later date. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Next Show Will Be Better. Thank you all so much for joining me. And thank you guys so much for sharing this night with me. Don't forget, we're live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. UK time, talking all things US and UK, all things British, all things American, all things Mandy, because I'm obviously the center of the universe. Make sure you join us for next week's show because, let's be fair, I know it and you know it. It only gets better when you're here. Have a great week, you guys. Love you so much. Thank you for everything. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Try to stay as sane as possible. And we will see you next time. Love you all. Bye.